Hello everyone, this is Praveen Kumar and welcome to the Hellers Classes channel. I hope in the previous videos you may got a brief idea about the aggregates and waters. So in the last video I explained you about the water which is suitable for different kinds of structures and what are the parameters are to be satisfied to get a good or purified water to be used for the concrete construction, and as well as what are the specifications are allowable or tolerance which is allowed, like how much amount of salts, sulfates, as well as some ingredients or some insoluble particles are existed with the water. So how much amount of these tolerances are allowable and what are the codal provisions are generally to be discussing about the water parameters, and as per IS 456, and these things already been discussed in the previous video. So in this video I am going to proceed with the next thing in our concreting material, which is admixture. It is one of the basic thing that we can able to observe in our cementing or concreting making, except the cement aggregate, which means either it is a coarse aggregate or fine aggregate or water. Except these things, besides one more feature is also being used for the making of aggregate, so that is the admixture. So which by using this aggregate we can able to modify the concrete based upon our requirement. Either we can make it as a good flowable concrete or to without disturbing the original property of concrete. If we want to make it as a very comfortable concrete, so we need to use some additional materials, that is the add mixture. So adding some mixture to the original existing concrete like cement, coarse aggregate, fine aggregate and water, that is the addition of some extra material to the concrete without disturbing its original properties, or it may not affect the compressive strength, or it may not affect the original position of the concrete or the original existing property of the concrete. So that is the admixture. So basically we have the admixtures like plasticizers, super plasticizers, retarders and retarding plasticizers, accelerators. So these are the few admixtures that we are using in a most preferably. Next one is air entraining admixture. So this is also one of the most useful admixture for the concrete making purpose. So the next one in our admixtures, pozzolanic or mineral admixtures. Pozzolanic or mineral admixture, damp proofing and waterproofing admixtures. So to control the effect of water, the damp proofers or waterproofing admixtures have been used in our original existing aggregates. Gas forming admixtures, air detraining admixtures, not entraining, detraining. Alkali aggregate expansion inhibition admixture, workability admixtures, as well as grouting admixtures, corrosion inhibiting admixtures, bonding admixtures. The last one, fungicidal, germicidal and insectional admixtures. So these are the few admixtures at which we are using. And one more thing is the coloring admixtures. Beside these aggregates, we have a few construction chemicals are also been as an admixture. That is concrete curing components is one of the chemical which is available in our market. Polymer bonding agents, polymer modified mortar for repairing and maintenance. Next thing, mold releasing agents, protective and decorative coatings, installation aids, floor harness and damp proofers, non-shrink high strength grouts, surface retarders, bond aid for plastering, ready to use plasters, grouting aids. Next one, construction chemical for waterproofing. So So these are the general construction chemicals that are actually available in our market to use based upon our requirement. So now we are proceeding for the explanation of these each and every one. First one is the plasticizer. If we want to get more flowability for the concrete without adding any amount of excess water to the concrete, it is not a possible one without addition of any extra material like an admixture. But by using this plasticizer without adding any excess amount of water, we can able to get a good flowable content. Even we can reduce the water also. If we reduce the water, definitely the strength will be somewhat increased. So to get more strength by reducing the water content, and even to get the more flowability, we are using the plasticizers as one of the best admixture for the concrete. So it is also simply, we can call it as water reducers. Next one is the super plasticizer. As like plasticizer, to reduce again more amount of water and to get maximum strength and good flowability of concrete, we are using super plasticizers. So these super plasticizers are moreover useful for self compacting concrete also. So to get that self compacting, we can generally use super plasticizer to get more flowability. And acrylic polymers based new generation plasticizers are a few things useful like that. Next one is the retarders. If we want to increase the setting time, so it is actually practically it is not possible, because whenever we are added a little bit amount of water, the chemical reaction will generally initiated. To reduce that chemical reaction, we can use that retarding agents. Next one, retarding plasticizers. To get more flowable as well as to increase the setting time of concrete, we are using both retarders as well as a plasticizer or super plasticizer. By adding this, we can get multiple things like setting time will be increases as well as the flowability also increases with less amount of concrete. Next one is accelerator. To get more strength at an earlier stage, which means if we want to get that 28 days of strength in an early ages, we can use that accelerator as one of the admixtures, and then we can get an earlier stage of setting. So next one is the air entraining agent. So by using a little bit amount of chemicals like flexible ball bearings, act as a flexible ball bearings, so we can use a little bit amount of ingredients like alumina. So definitely we may get a few air bubbles which is formed in a concrete, and then we can increase the more flowability of the concrete. So next one is pozzolanic or mineral admixtures. These pozzolanic or mineral admixtures are moreover useful, majorly using as a mineral admixtures for the preparing or to reduce the economy of the structure or economy of the concrete. Basically, moreover, the waste products which are producing from the industries that we are generally using as a pozzolanic or mineral admixtures. While coming to the quality of the concrete, it will lower the heat of hydration and thermal shrinkage and increase the water tightness. That is one of the property by using that pozzolanic or mineral mixture, and reduce the alkali aggregate reaction and improve the resistance to attack by sulfate solids and seawater, improve the extensibility, lower the susceptibility to dissolute and leaching, and improve the workability and lower the cost. So by using these mineral or pozzolanic admixtures, that we can control the concrete properties. While coming to the classification of these pozzolanic materials, naturally formed are clay and shale, opalic cherts, diatomaceous earth, volcanic tuffs, and pumices or pumicities. Artificial pozzolanos are fly ash which is found from the thermal power plants, blast furnace slag which is from steel industries, rice ash and silica fume is from electrical furnace, rice ash is from food industries, metakaolin is from sugarcane industries. So these are the general things we are using as an admixtures for the preparation of concrete, and we are also using these things as a admixtures. So next one is damp proofing and waterproofing admixtures. So the name itself indicates it will tighten the water problems in structures, and it is acts like a dam proofer. So by using these structures we can able to arrest the entering of water into the structure, and if we control this, so definitely we can able to safeten the structure of affecting by the water entering into the structure. So next one is gas forming agent. Even by using a little bit amount of gas forming agent, it will form like a hydroxides produced into the hydration of cement and produce minute bubbles of hydrogen gas throughout the mixture. The amount as used actually 0.005, which means 0.5% to 2% or 0.2% by weight of cement, which is about it will form a maximum amount of bubbles onto the concrete and it won't affect the properties. So that is the major advantage of using this gas forming agents or air detraining agents. If is there any additional air agents are been formed because of the aggregates which we are using in aggregates or concrete preparation. So if we want to reduce the effect of those gas forming agents, we have to use that air detraining agents, that we can able to reduce that air bubble formation, as well as we can able to reduce that effect over the concrete. The next one, alkali aggregate expansion inhibitors. In the previous session we discussed about alkali aggregate reaction. So to control that alkali aggregate reaction, we have to use these ingredients as one of the admixtures. Workability agents. To improve the workability, we have to use a certain admixtures, like previously we discussed like plasticizers or super plasticizers or accelerators. So to improve the workability, so the flowability are to work over the concrete. If the concrete is to be placed around closely placed reinforcement and D-beams thin sections, where the special placements are required such as trims, chert or pumping methods, if the concrete is harsh because of the poor aggregate characteristics, and for making high strength concretes when water cement ratio is very low, so for these kind of elements generally we require a few workability agents like finely divided materials or plasticizer, super plasticizer or air entraining agents. By using this we can able to form a more workable concrete, and these are the workable agents. Next one is grouting. Grouting means injection. So injecting that material into the cracks of the structure. Whenever there is a crack has been formed, so through that crack we are inserting or injecting a few amount of thing that which we can able to reduce that cracks. So that is the grouting admixture. So these grouting admixtures are generally accelerators, retarders, gas forming agents, workability agents, plasticizers. Corrosion inhibiting agents. So the name itself indicates a corrosion which we generally observe in structures like RCC. They are constructing underwater structures like, or the structure which may be constructed in marine environment. So for that we use that incorrosive, so corrosion effective elements. Next one, bonding admixtures. These are generally been added for the grouting things, so which we require more addition to the cracks. So for that we are using that bonding admixture. Next one, fungicidal, germicidal and insecticidal admixtures. So in general, to control the effect of insects or bacteria or virus, throughout the structure. So if we want to control the effect of those things, so definitely we require a little bit different property of concrete, and for that we are using that fungicidal or germicidal and insecticidal admixture. So by using this we can control the effect of bacteria or some formation of insects. So these are things. Next one, coloring agents. So to get different things of color or different colors of cement, different colors of concrete, by using that pigments, and that pigments won't react with the concrete properties or cement properties, it only changes the color of the concrete. So that we can able to use in our concrete preparation. So these are the major things which we are using in our concrete preparation as a mineral or solid type of admixtures. Next one is the construction chemicals. There are some chemical industries are also producing some kind of admixtures to change the properties of concrete, like an accelerator or air entering agent or plasticizer or super plasticizer. So by using these chemicals also we can able to change the original properties of concrete. If we have a less amount or non-availability of concrete, non-availability of curing, if we have a lack of water which we are not or unable to cure the concrete, so by using these curing compounds we can able to get good curable concrete without curing the concrete for 28 days, because we don't have any lot of water to cure the concrete, and on those cases we can use that. Next one, polymer bonding agents. So to get more polymer or bonding for the structures, like repairing the structures which may attack to the cracks, which may cracks are being formed over the concrete, and for that type of concrete by using these admixtures we can control that crack formation. Next one, polymer modified mortar for repair and maintenance. Even the same thing like as usual with the before one, for maintenance purpose or for the repairing purpose, whenever there is a crack is been formed, to control that extension of concrete, by using that grouting technique we can insert those chemical into the concrete, and we can able to reduce the effect or extension of that crack. If wooden planks are been arranged as a shuttering purpose for the or for shuttering purpose while making the concrete, molds like slabs, beams, or some kind of elements, to remove the particles easily without getting any deviations, by using these chemical type of admixtures we can easily demold the structure whenever we required. So it is an easier method without getting any deviations or any damage to the structure. Even you can observe different damages are being occurred while removing that shutterings. Even that wooden planks are also been attached very adhesive to the concrete. Next one, floor hardening and or dust proofers. For the structures like when it is constructed in a dusty areas or in desert areas, so to control the effect of those things we are using that. Next one, non-shrink high strength grout. So if is there any temperature variations are very high in a particular regions of deserts, so definitely the shrinking behavior is also somewhat effective, and the durability is also somewhat less for that type of structures, and at those conditions we can use that particular material. Next one, surface retarders. So surface retarders, so in general already we discussed about the what is meant by retardant. So for the surface retarders there are some chemicals are also being introduced by the some of the companies. Next one, bond aid for plasticizers. For the plasticizers, that bond aids are also being produced by a few companies, and these are not the majorly used by the constructions. So these are the one of the kind of structure this may be used for some special conditions. Next one, ready to use plasticizer. For consistency in quality of finishing and less storage and mixing area, lower material consumption, crack free plasticizers, these are being used. Next one, Grouting aid. Whenever if we insert a little bit amount of mortar or concrete in a liquid form by injecting into the structure, so that is a more popular thing generally been, so that is grouting aid. Next one, chemicals for waterproofing. Even for the waterproofing also, nowadays there are so many chemical industries are producing some chemicals to control the damp proofing. So these are the things that actually we are using as a admixtures, either it may be a mineral or a kind of a plasticizer or a kind of thing or in a chemical formation. So this is about the admixtures are generally we are using. So in the next video we will continue with concrete and fresh concrete and as well as hardened concrete.